Hey, good morning, YouTubers. So, guess where I am? I am about to enter a place called Autoworld in Brussels, Belgium. So, I'm very, very excited about this opportunity. I saw that they have really an amazing collection of classic and vintage cars and also some really, really rare and special cars. And it's also like supposed to be really, it had some really beautiful and aesthetically pleasing setup. So, very excited about this opportunity. We're going to go inside Brussels right now and see what kind of footage we can get. Let's go. So, as I was saying earlier, this place is really breathtaking and magnificent. I mean, just look at all the cars and look at the setup. It's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So, since we have a lot to cover, we're going to jump right into it. Yeah, check out the color scheme on this Porsche 911. So this is known as a 1976 Auto Rainbow Porsche. That is certainly interesting. Next up, we have a 1983 Ryger Breitbau VW Scirocco 2.0. Look at this. Oh. Such a beautiful color and design. And I love the spoiler in the back. Ryger tuning. Look at the interior. Oh, wow. I just love how you have the leather encasing the dash there. Next, we have a 1992 Rieger BMW M3. So it's not Ryger, it's Rieger, I believe. Because this is the German tuner event, and the IE is pronounced as an E, Rieger. Check this out. 1987 Arden AJ3. This pretty much looks like a Jaguar station wagon. Hey YouTube, so actually I failed to mention that there's a German tuner event going on right now. And that is why you have all these cars over here on this side that are, that are tuners basically. That are, I guess, that are special versions of their, German OEM counterparts. But in any case, let's keep filming. Check out this 1986 Porsche 935 DP. Look at the bodywork on this. Kind of reminds me of a Rough, doesn't it? And look at that spoiler. Whew. That's a gorgeous design. Next is a 1987 Manta. What in the heck? I've never heard that. And this has got to be one of the most beautiful color schemes I've ever seen on a car. This is a 1991 Low-Tech TT1000. So basically, this is a Ferrari Testarossa with a twin turbo delivering 1,000 horsepower. Oh my goodness. Even for today's standards, this car still just is so striking. It's so beautiful. So check out this beautiful Ferrari Testarossa here. That's twin turboed. You know what it reminds me of? So just recently, Ferrari came out with a car that's supposed to be the replacement to the SF90, and they also tagged the Testarossa name on it. And it's actually very controversial. A lot of people, there are a lot of haters on the car and everything. I'm not really sure what to think of it. I know Ferrari had certain design language they're trying to promote. But in any case, this car is just timeless. The Ferrari Testarossa is a timeless car, and I'm referring to the one from the '80s, of course. And yeah, this is a beautiful car, and it's going to be very hard to top it. All right, I think I'm seriously starting to fall in love with this place. 1993 Porsche Strosek Ultra Wing 928 GTS. Look at that door. Look at the gullwing door on the Porsche. And check out the interior too. Gorgeous. Such beautiful work. And I love the door. I have never seen a gullwing or jackknife or like kind of a Lambo or McLaren style door on a Porsche before. Next you have this beautiful 1986 BMW KS 635 CSI. Absolutely breathtaking in white. Oh boy, that front grille. Here we have a 1984 Tresor Quattro Roadster. Audi. Look at the dark green. Boy, I just love that color on that. Look how small the back seats are, but that's okay. Beautiful color. I just love the beige. Oh, wow. God, look at that retro dash. Oh, that is so beautiful. Now, what in the heck is this? 1992 Schultz Bigfoot. I have no idea what this is. I have never in my life seen anything like this before. Check out this 1985 Mercedes SGS Arrow C1. Look at the doors on this. Look at those gull-wing doors. Oh, what an absolutely beautiful car. My God, check out the interior of this Mercedes. That's got about one of the most futuristic and retro interiors I've ever seen. Leather seats are absolutely gorgeous. But this is what really is catching my attention. Just look at the futuristic, 80s style futuristic dash here. Look at all the buttonry on here. And I noticed this from far away too. That's how you can tell a dash is really beautiful, is that when you can notice it from even far away. So I'm going to pan out here a little bit. So even from out here, you can kind of see like all the buttons on the dash here, and that's how you know like this is something really special. And then before we move on, how can we forget this 1987 Schultz Mercedes W126 Pullman? Look at the size of this Mercedes limo. My goodness. And then check out the cool artwork. And I'll pan out again so you guys can take a look. Boy, so elegant and stylish. And look at this, you even have the Schultz badge on here too. Hey YouTube, so I'm really impressed with this place. So these German tuners, I mentioned earlier that I'm falling in love with this place, and that's because you know, as a kid, I just really loved the car, especially like the late 80s, early 90s. That was kind of my time growing up. That's when I was really in love with cars. I'm in love with cars now, but there's something about the love as a child you have. It's hard to really, you know, emanate that. But in any case, a lot of these cars just kind of give me nostalgia and kind of remind me of how much I loved the cars back in the late 80s and early 90s. So that's kind of why I had that kind of moment of nostalgia and said, okay, I'm falling in love with this place. But this is an amazing museum. Anyway, so we are now done the German tuner section, and we're going to be entering what I believe is the Ferrari section. So let's keep rolling. So look at this 1991 Ferrari Testarossa, and this is the special car because the latest Ferrari has been named, has a Testarossa name on it, and it's caused a lot of stir and controversy because of the strange and complicated design language Ferrari's using. But oh God, the Testarossa is just timeless. And this is coming from a Lamborghini person too. Oh, look at the back rear grille. And don't get me wrong, as a kid, I loved the Ferrari Testarossa too. And let's get the pan in here. Oh, look at the Testarossa badge on here. Wow. Check out this 1971 Bizzarini AMX3 Spider. Look at the design. Look at the chassis of this car. Look how low it is. This has to be one of the most beautiful chassis I've ever seen on a car. So 70s. Look at the exhaust on here. Nothing pristine about this. This is just pure freaking badass and in your face. Oh, look at that interior. That is such a race style interior. Again, nothing pristine about this. Look at those seats. Look at the seats here too. It's a pure race car. Check out this 1956 Ferrari 250 GT Boano. Now, notice the design language on here. It's not even close to like the ones of the 70s. So this is obviously a different time period. Still an absolutely beautiful car. It almost has like that, I dare I say it, like almost like a Studebaker like shape to it. It's weird. Can't believe I compared a Ferrari to a Studebaker. Look at the back, look at those lights. And now you have the badge right in the middle of the back there. And now we kind of go a little bit more closer to the present. This 2000 Ferrari 550 Barchetta. Ooh. Very interesting design that Ferrari has. Some may argue this is the king of the Ferraris, named after the late Enzo Ferrari, the founder of Ferrari. 2002 Ferrari Enzo. Look at the shape of this car. Look at those vents. I have to say this is probably one of the best designed Ferraris I can think of. And when the car came out, I don't recall there to be much controversy. I think this car was very well received. Yeah, this is absolutely a breathtaking design. I think this is probably one of Ferrari's best cars, if not the best Ferrari. Now we get a lot more closer to modern with this 2009 Ferrari 430 Scuderia Spider 16M. Not as aggressive as the design, but still a very beautiful car. Simplistic yet beautiful. This is a special car. 2010 Ferrari 599 GTO. This is special because this looks very much like the car that I drove in Seattle City, which was the Ferrari 812 Superfast. Look how close the design is. So I believe this is the same model or same line of car. And then you went to, I think, the Berlinetta. I can't remember what it was, but I know the Berlinetta came before the 812 Superfast. And I believe this is the same line, model line of Ferrari, the front engine V12. But wow, very interesting car. I didn't like it at first because I always thought Ferrari should be mid-engine. But when I saw this car in person, that's when I was like, wow, okay, no, this is the beautiful car. This is probably one of most Ferrari's highly anticipated cars, a 1995 F50. So this car had to top the F40. Now, I hear more about the F40 than the F50. I hardly see any F50s. And to be honest, I don't know how well received this car was, because again, this car had a huge shoe to fill. I mean, having to replace the F40, and the F40 was a freaking epic car. Nonetheless, I'm very happy to see this car, and it is a very beautiful car, even if people think it's an ugly 90s car. It looks impressive to me. And I agree with my fellow Ferrari fans. Actually, I'm not a Ferrari fan. I'm more a Lamborghini fan. But anyway, that a Ferrari's got to be a mid-engine 12. It has to be. Mid-engine V12. That's what a Ferrari is. Hey, everyone. So we are now done the Ferrari section. I'm pretty impressed. So basically, I think the two most amazing Ferraris that I saw here are the F50 and the Ferrari Enzo. Two very, very epic and rare Ferraris. In fact, the F50 I don't think I've ever seen an F50 before. So I'm very happy to have come here and seen one. And you see them both together, the F50 and the Enzo. And just good to see the other Ferraris here as well. So let's keep rolling. So now we're going to try to cover this whole section over here. And you got some cars elevated up there, so it might be a little tough to get, but we'll do what we can. First up, we got some United States representation here. 1944 Willis MB Jeep. Always good to see the Willis name because it's such a rare breed. The interior of this Willis. And it's so cool just to see kind of the whole intertwining history of Willis and Jeep. The Butler Bantam Jeep, evolving from Butler, Pennsylvania. So very cool. All I can say is wow. 1921 Ford Model T. Henry Ford's very first production car. And 1921. This is going way back, folks. Now that is as basic and historical as it gets, folks. Look at the seating on here. I have to wonder, is this OEM? Because that's pretty impressive. If those are the seats that Ford had back in the day, that's really impressive. So even though, I'm trying to focus on the cars, I do have to point out that this museum has incredible attention to detail. And with that being said, I kind of want to go and just kind of do a quick pan of the smaller, small scale cars here they have encased. Look at that. The red Bolide. Cuts the butcher's van. Look at that. Bobby Smiles Type 35. Lincoln Zephyr convertible. The Lincoln Zephyr convertible with the Thompson CV. Look at that, folks. The Aurelia of the Italian. You have the little action figure there laying on the hood. You got to be kidding me. The New Delhi Taxi. Oh my goodness gracious. And then check out the artwork on the back wall. Boucherie Saint-Zot. Wow, very impressive. Then you have the miniature Ford T. Look at that. So we can't go inside this section, so I'm just going to pan here. The first car here is a 1967 Honda S800 Cabrio. Very beautiful and very rare. I definitely haven't seen many of those. Look at this, a 1967 Honda N360. Looks like it's like a European car. And I kind of wonder if there was something going on with Fiat and Honda back in the day. First elevated car is a Mini 850. See if I can zoom in on that. Next elevated car, Seat 600 from 1973. Next is a 1951 Volkswagen Beetle. Then we have a Renault R4 from 1961. Okay, this is special, especially for you historians. So the truck here, you have a 1914 Opel LKW, and then inside the truck, see if I can get a little closer look at this. I believe that is a 1904 Cottereau. So how about that, folks? Let me pan back out. A 1904 Cottereau inside of a 1914 Opel. And this bike here is a 1903 Minerva, 2 horsepower. Oh, that is so cool. So you can zoom in on that. So here we have a 1921 Ford Model T. Look at that. With no top at that. You got the dummy there working on it. That is so freaking cool. Look at that, folks. Now we got a whole elevated row of cars over here that we got to get, and then some a little lower over there. The first car is a Citroen AZ from 1957. Next car is a Standard 10 from 1954. Third car is a Trabant Type 601 from 1964. Fourth car is a Honda S800 from 1968. Very cool to see these old style Hondas. And then next we have a BMW Isetta 300. Now I believe I have seen these at the DC Auto Show 1965, and also at the Burke Auto Show as well. Sorry, not the DC Auto Show, the Rockville, Maryland show. Next, we have a Mearschmidt KR200 1959. Yeah, I'm going to venture to guess that these cars are extremely rare, as I have not seen any of these at any of the classic car shows that I've been to, and I've been to a lot of them. Messerschmitt KR200. Next is a Rovin Voiturette from 1946. What in the heck? So yeah, this is never seen anything like this before. And then next is a Vespa 400 from 1955. Wow, look at that shape. Check out this 1941 Peugeot VLV. Look at the color of the wheels on this. And here's the interior of the 1941 Peugeot. And this is an electric car too. So go figure that. And here we have a car from the States. A Crosley Type 4. 1946. Okay, I've never seen anything like this before either. So apparently this museum has some really, really rare cars. This is really, yeah, this is something else, folks. And there's also a motorcycle section here that we're going to go through real quick. So we'll take a look at these motorcycles here. This almost reminds me of Larry's Car Barn in Intercourse, Pennsylvania, because they had some Harleys there too. Now, don't get me wrong, that's also a great place. This place is a whole other level, but it's just cool to see, like, you know, other modes of transportation represented here. And then right under here, under the stairs, a 1972 Porquerolles, if I'm even really pronouncing that correctly. Look at that. And we have some more bikes here, so we're going to just go kind of walk here and just capture these bikes. And, you know, I'm just going to try to focus more on the cars, but I do at least want to get an overview of the bikes. But yeah, I just can't say it enough how amazing this museum is. Just with the, not only the kinds of cars, but the rarity of the cars that they have presented here. Hey YouTube, hope you're all having a good time and hope you're enjoying the footage. So we've covered quite a bit already. So we got all these bikes over here, and then all the cars you see in the back, we got all those cars. So we're gonna now focus on another section. Let's go. So now we're entering some of the more like historical cars. I shouldn't say that because we just saw a bunch of historical cars, but it looks like this is a different kind of section. It looks like these are some of your larger historical cars that we're going to be covering here. So, and then we have this whole section over here. It looks like it's going to be more maybe your American classics over here, and then we got all those cars over there to cover. So let's keep rolling, folks. So first, talk about making a statement, which this car absolutely does, as a 1928 Minerva AF. Look at how big, imposing, and beautiful this car is. It looks like this car should only be driven by royalty. And then continuing discussion on this Minerva, you got the little luggage storage area here, and look at that rear mirror. So Thunderbird has like a circular mirror on its side, but look at that oval mirror. That is something else. Something only the Belgians can do. Well, these cars have some of the coolest badges and emblems. An FN Sport. This here is a 1930 FN 1400 S Sport course. Whew. Oh, I love how you have like the kind of stainless steel hood and a dark red colored chassis there. And check out the material here. Is that like leather I see? What the heck? That does not look like a normal material for a car. So it looks like almost like it has like a leather cover or something on it. So I'm gonna have to inquire about this. This is something totally different. And look at the pointy back. This is something really out of this world. And you have right-hand drive and a pretty sporty looking interior. Look at the circular gauges there. It looks very sporty. You know, I just can't get over how these cars are expressed. 1934 Minerva M4. So Minerva definitely loving to make statements with their badges and emblems. Look at that car. Wow. And then next we have a 1949 Imperia TA8. There are some very unique cars in this museum. Then we have some American representation here with a 1949 Wizard Tandem bike that we'll finish the section off with. Here's a 1924 Gillette 3.5 horsepower bike here. Then we have a post-World War II 1958 Flandria Mondial Triporteur. Wow. I don't have the words here. This is a 1947 FN tri-car. So here's a better shot of the tri-car. Wow, very freaking unique looking. Look at this thing. Okay, so now we're about to enter what I'm going to call the royalty room, or the room of royalty. Salle d'Italien salle. Oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, oh my god. I don't have the words, guys. I'm sorry, I just don't. So this freaking fine whip is a 1921 Minerva Type 00. This is what King Albert I was pimping out. Man. Imagine pulling up the Seal City in this. Good lord. Wow. This is freaking serious. King Albert I definitely had a tough wrist game, I could bet. I just can't get over that freaking oval in the back. That is so freaking cool. And I'm gonna try to get the interior if I can. Wow, look at that wood. And now we have representation from my country. 1954 Cadillac Series 62 State Limousine. Whew. What a beautiful and imposingly shaped car this is. So King Albert I was not the only one with wrist game. Whoever owned this one, likewise. Whew. Wow, look at that interior. My goodness. And look how the whole entire roof is all glass. Look at this. I'd imagine it's plexiglass or something. Yeah, this is a really special car, folks. Let's get the back of her now. Boy, Cadillac just love to make imposing cars. Here you have a 1981 Harley Davidson. Next we have a 1965 Lincoln Continental convertible, and this was actually the presidential state car for some time. Look at it, folks. Wow. Look at the way those gauges are shaped, and look at this vast and imposing interior. Look at the seats too. See, this is how you define luxury back in the 60s, folks. Then you have some more examples of luxury on a smaller scale. Inside this scale size exhibit here. Here we have a 1956 Sorolia Atlantic from Belgium. Check out this whip. 1852 Berlin de Gala. Let's take a closer look at her. Look at the size of those freaking wheels. Look at this thing. Pure elegance. Oh my god. Bro, I'm so pimping this in Seattle, man. That is what you call luxury, folks. Back in the 1800s, this is what you call luxury. Trying to get what I think is the front of this thing. Again, look at the attention to detail, even with the cloth. I mean, this is pure opulence here. This has got to be one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Oh my god. And here we have another Berlin de Gala from 1805 to 1810. So we're going way back. So I guess this is how you represented Riz back in the early 1800s. Okay, now we're going way back. I don't see any information on this, but I'm going to venture to guess it's probably something from somewhere in the early 1800s, I'm guessing. Next we have a 1928 Minerva AF. And here is the front of the 1928 Minerva AF. And there is the hood ornament and the badge of this 1928 Minerva AF. We have a 1935 FN Type 42 Prince Baudouin. I'm going to keep panning here. Next, a 1900 Venus Duck. And then we have a 1932 Imperia 1100 SS. Guy hiding back here, I believe, is a 1936 Imperia TA9 Albatross. Next is a 1926 Gillette Tour du Monde 350 Lieutenant Fabry. So for this section, I'm going to just go down the line here, and then I'm going to kind of walk my way through this whole line of cars. First is a 1930 Minerva AL. This next car here, a 1934 Belga Rice BR8. And then you have a bike here. I'm not sure what that is. Next, we have a 1926 Minerva Type AD. Sorry, 1925 Minerva Type AD. Ooh, check out that 1910 Minerva Type WT. To get some extra footage of this car here. Look at this. Yeah, that is beautiful, folks. What a beautiful car. Here we have a 1911 Minerva Type X. So you have a lot of Minervas here, which apparently is a Belgian name I'm taking. Next is a 1908 FN 2000A. My God, these cars are so beautiful. And all I can think of is pimping one of these in Sea Isle. Here we have a 1906 Fondue CF. Wow. And look at the wooden body on her too. Wow, check out that 1901 FN Type 4 CV. Is it me, or are like the more historical cars actually more beautiful than the modern cars? Or am I just an old fart? Check out this 1930 FN 1400S. So Belgium making a very strong case for their skill set and their aesthetic skill sets also in car manufacture. Wow. So in various languages, what they're trying to say here is that in Belgium, 255,000 people are working for your automobile. So definitely a lot goes in to your cars for you Belgian folks here. Check out the retro gas tank there. And then we're just kind of go along here. 1926 Bobby. And then a 1922 Sarolia 23 ATTX Vittel. Check out this 1916 Detroit Electric Model 61 Brauham. Here's the front. And that is true, folks. They were actually making electric cars back in the day before the whole fuel surge. Next, we have a 1901 Toledo steam car. Check that out. Then we have an 1899 La Jamais Contente replica. I don't even know what to say. And this is what the inside of your 1899 La Jamais Contente replica looks like. Here you have a CVT design, continuously variable transmission design, done in Belgium. Now we're getting some more modern cars. You got a 2020 Microlino from Switzerland, and then a 2014 Volkswagen Golf Blue E-Motion. And you got a Toyota Prius hybrid from 97 to 2003. And then a 2008 Tesla Roadster. This has got to be one of the sportiest Teslas I've ever seen. I wasn't really big on the Teslas just because, at least the Plaid, because I just felt they looked kind of boxy, you know, despite their insane acceleration. But this one here, this is a nice looking little car here. Folks, we just covered this entire section of cars. going way back in history. And then we get to some modern cars here that we've already covered here. And we got to cover this guy over here, and then all these cars down this row. So let's keep moving. Check out this 1936 Citroen 11UB. Look at this. And it has some patina I see on there. On the side there, look at that. Look at this 1925 Chevrolet Superior Series K. And I believe this is after GM took over and Louis Chevrolet left the company. And of course then Chevrolet took off, and then Louis Chevrolet, the original founder, missed out. Check out this 1964 Ford 12 MP4. Look at the shape of this car. It's very un-Ford-like. It looks much more European. Then check out the 1949 Standard Vanguard. Look at the shape. Has almost that Chrysler Airflow shape to it, almost. Although it's a little bit different than the Chrysler Airflow in terms of shape. And look at the beautiful Standard Vanguard badge. And then we finish this section off with a 1969 Volvo 121 Amazon. Look at this car. With the window open, we might as well take advantage and get the interior of this Volvo. Wow, look at that. Inside this encased area is a 1964 MG Kuhn. Might be a little hard to get this car. Let's see if I can get it from out here. Boy, very interesting shape. Well, folks, I'm a happy camper. You want to know why? Because this is a Studebaker. This is a Studebaker. And then look at the Bel Air vibes you get in the back with the fin. A 61 Studebaker Hawk. I kind of wonder if it was inspired by the Bel Air and maybe like kind of the Impala or something too, because look at the freaking wings on this thing. Look at that. Okay, apparently we're entering the Renault section, and we're starting off with this 83 Renault R5 automatic. Okay, so it looks like you have a very interesting section here of cars that we need to cover. So first we're going to get this row right over here. First car here is a 1955 Peugeot 403. Very beautiful in the navy blue. Next, we have a 1956 Simca 98 Around, and I have not heard of Simca. So it's definitely something new for me. Then we have a 1953 NSU Quickly S. I'll pan out here to get both cars with the bike in the middle. Very, very lovely. And of course, back at home, we've seen this plenty of times, the 1955 Bel Air. But wow, in a pink. Look at this light pink color with the kind of silver two-tone. That is so cool, folks. And in between these two cars, we have two bikes. One is a 1953 Moto Guzzi Motoleggera. The other is a 1954 Rumi Formicchini. And both are Italian bikes. Next, we have a 1954 Moretti 750 Grand Sport Berlinetta. What a sporty looking car that is. And then we finish off this row with a 1951 Tatra 600 Tatraplan. I think it's from Czech Republic, I believe. So very interesting. Always good to see some American meat here. With this 1959 Cadillac Series 62 convertible. Look at how huge and imposing this car is. In a pink, too. Boy, talking about making a statement. And when I think pink Cadillacs, I think of the movie Goodfellas, where that one dude bought the Cadillac, and then Robert De Niro's character, Jimmy Conway, just castigated him, saying, hey, you're going to get us all pinched. Look at the back of her, too. My goodness. So this car is specifically designated for The Autoworld exhibition. Beautiful design on here. Let's get the interior. Wow. And this is the badge of a 1954 Sunbeam Alpine MK1. Here is the interior of the 1954 Sunbeam. Ooh. Look at that semicircle gauge there. Very interesting dash, folks. Sorry, I don't know what this is. It looks very much like a Citroen. It has the body of a Citroen. So if you guys in the comment section know what this is, then please let me know. Okay, that is cool. Boy, what a way to exhibit a car. And that last one was a Citroen. You know why? Because this one looks very much like that one. And this is indeed a 1962 Citroen DS Fusée. Now this is quite a sporty looking car. So this here is a 1954 Pegaso Z102 Enaza Pedrable. Wow, try to remember the name of that, huh? And check out the side exhaust, and we'll try to get the interior. See if I can get a little closer there. So very, very interesting. Very, very clean and minimalist interior of the Pegaso. So check out the color scheme on this Fiat. You know what really impresses me? I think just by the kinds of cars, not only the kinds of cars, but just the body work, the artwork, you really get a sense of the car culture here. And it's really impressive. It's so cool to see, like, just people's pride and passion going into these cars and just making them more beautiful. And then look at this, folks. A 1929 Fiat 509 Gaston Lagaffe. And this does not look like a Fiat at all. I mean, only because the Fiats I see are the ones that are like, you know, the smaller ones you see all over Italy. Wow, beautiful. So it turns out we missed a couple cars here. This is the 1951 Renault 4CV that we just got now. And then right behind that is a Dodge DeSoto. Look at this design. This is the 56 DeSoto Diplomat custom convertible. My God. What a stunning car. Boy, Dodge really making a statement. I just love the trim work on this. It says Diplomat Custom on the side there, and I'm going to get the shot again. But this is one of the most beautiful cars I have seen, definitely, the American market. Here we got 1951 Gillette 500 Estafette. And then right there, we got a military vehicle we're going to grab next. This is a 52 Minerva TT Jeep. Next, we have a 1934 Minerva fire truck. Wow. Oh, that is so impressive. Next, we have a 1924 Minerva MLT tractor. So, boy, Minerva really making quite a variety of vehicles. And this is another firefighting vehicle from the late 1800s. Sorry, early 1800s, 1820 to 1830. And then we'll just get the back of these trucks here that we just got. There's that Minerva fire truck. Very, very impressive. We got something over there. I wonder if that was for rolling out the fire hose or something around the 1800s. I don't know if I got this bike or not. This is the 1924 FN M60 Sport. I don't know if I got this or not, but if I didn't, I got it now. Hey, how you doing, YouTube? So we have covered quite a bit of cars on this level. So all the cars you see in the background, those German tuners, those Ferraris, the elevated cars, I'm going to kind of pan around here. And then all those cars in the back on the lower level, everything you see back there, those Citroens, that vertical vertically placed Citroen over there. We got all those cars. And then these cars here now are the ones we got to get next. These cars here, and then the cars back behind us before we go to the upper level. So let's get moving, folks. And there is the hood ornament of a 1934 Oldsmobile F34 type. Let's keep going here. F34 Type 8 Coupe is what this is. Look at that. Wow. Next, we have a 1935 Chrysler Airstream convertible. So even here, I'm seeing American cars I've never seen before. We got the back luggage doors that was so popular in the early days. And we finish off this section strong with a 1937 Cord 812. What in the heck? I have never in my life heard of a Cord. That's something different. So check out that interior of this 1937 Cord. Wow, look at that dash. That is something else, folks. So apparently this Cord was one of the only pre-war cars to have front-wheel drive and retractable headlights. And has that kind of airflow design in the back. We'll just keep walking around here. Get the other side over too so I can get the other cars. So very, very beautiful, folks. Next we have a 1970 Van Clay buggy. The Van Clay buggy, folks. Check out this 1940 BMW 326 Cabrio Austin wreath. And look at the beautiful two-tone on this car with the lime green and the dark green. Beautiful. Don't see these too often. 1938 De La Haya 135 M Coupe. And then we have a 1938 Ford Fiat Model 81A. And we finish off this section very strong and very rare with a very rare 1939 Horch 930 volt Cabrio. 930V Cabrio. I don't know if that's volt or not, but wow. Okay, so we are really going to get into some historical cars here. We're going to cover these cars, and then there's a whole section over here that looks quite historical that we're going to get to real soon. Check out this 1933 Mercedes-Benz 370S Mannheim. Stunning. And here is the interior of this 1937 Benz. How about that hood ornament on what looks to be a Spanish and Swiss effort? As I make my way around here and get footage of this 1935 Hispano Suiza K6. Look at this freaking mammoth of a car. Right next to that, we got a 1928 Packard 8 model. Look at that car, wow. And there's the interior of a 1928 Bentley 3 to 4.5 liter. And yes, Walter Bentley certainly did not play back in the day, and he was not very happy when he was bought out by Rolls-Royce. Look at those headlights, wow. Next we have a 1925 BSA E25. Then look at the gaugery and interior of this 1929 Studebaker Presidential 8 Model FA. Oh, what a stunning car this is. And definitely a great and excellent ride to rock in Seattle City, except for the aspect of having to parallel park it. Yeah, you just have to love these vintage interiors and dash work. Let's zoom in on that there. Look at that. There's the dash work there. And this is of a 1925 Revell B1226. So many cars here that I've freaking never even heard of or never knew about. Okay, folks, it's time to get serious. This, you know, it's a Bugatti. This is the 1930 Bugatti 49. Ettore Bugatti is still an artist at heart, even if he didn't go that route like the rest of his family members. Next, we get to a Lancia. And this Lancia is a 1925 Lambda 7 Series. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful car, beautiful color. And then next we have a 1925 Chrysler Series B70. Walter Chrysler, definitely making a strong case. Coming up from Maxwell Corporation. And here we have a 1936 Sarolier 36C monotube. And next we have a 1920 Delage CO. Whew. Goodness gracious, and again you have the stainless steel hood there. This, folks, is a 1924 Ford Model TT motorhome. Okay, I've never in my life seen anything like this before. Look at this, folks. Look at the back. Like you have a little porch here or something. What in the... Oh my goodness gracious. Let's look at the inside here. Let's see if I can zoom in on the inside a little bit there. Looks like a little kitchenette there. Oh my goodness. Back to some more seriousness, folks. 1923 Bugatti. And this one here is a Type 23. Oh wow, look at that. Here is the interior of the 1923 Type 23. And then right next to the 23 Type 23, you have a beautiful light blue 1928 Bugatti 44. Oh, my goodness. We'll get a look at the interior. Look at that beautiful wood paneling. Very luxurious for 1928, I'd imagine. So we covered all these cars here, and now we'll see if we can go inside this section over here and cover some of these. And here we have a 1922 Daimler TS 6.30. See if I can fit it in the frame there. Not quite. I'll back up a little bit. You guys get the point. It's a beautiful car. So next we have a 1908 Minerva 8 horsepower bike. And then we have a 1924 Renault Type MC40CV. Look at that, folks. Keep panning around here so I can get the front of her. Oh, breathtaking. So check out this 1911 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. Oh, I see outer components of the car, or inner components rather. Oh, look at that thing. 1921 Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost? Imagine this in your living room or something. That would be cool. So I'll just do an overview of this section here. The first car on my left is a 1911 Franklin Model G. And then moving along here, we got a 1910 Césaire Naudin Grand Tourisme. I know I'm butchering these names here. And these last two cars, the first one, the one on the left, the maroon one, is a 1913 Dirac TT13. And then this last one here, a 1915 Wanderer Pupschen. All beautiful and stunning cars, folks. And then while we are here, we'll get this section of cars over here. We'll grab these over here too. So first we have a 1912 de Dion DE2. And again, I could swear, like the older the cars get, the more elegant and beautiful they are. And then next to the 12, we got a 13 de Dion Bouton DX. Look at that. I'll pan out here. Wow. Then here is a very luxurious and breathtaking interior, at least back then breathtaking. Ooh, very luxurious. Of a 1911 Opel. Wow. And then we will go and grab the front. And that is the front of the Opel. Next we have a 1913 Peugeot Type PB1 Bebe. And next we have a 1921 Renault Type G. See if I can get around her. I love that color. Look at the wheels. Something I haven't seen before at all. And there's the interior of the 1921 Renault Type IG. Let's get a little close look at the dash there. 1928 Dixie DA1. Very beautiful. And then we have a 1925 Citroen C35 CV Treffle. Look at that, folks. All right, now we're going to make our way around here. This beautiful green ride is a 1914 Minerva KK, so we're back to Minerva again. There's the Minerva, folks. And then next we have a 1915 Benz Carpatenzieger. And then that's followed by a 1913 Alva Type C. Stunning. And here we have a 1919 FN 2700 AT. Yeah, these cars in the late 10s and early 20s are so fascinating and so beautiful with their design. And we get back to a 1910 Delage Type T Series 7. We'll grab these bikes here. The 1903 Pied Boeuf, followed by a 1905 Antoine 3.5 horsepower bike here. Here we have a 1905 Peugeot Type 68. Look at how exquisite this car looks. Oh, wow. And that is what you call a gorgeous and stunning interior for 1905. Now, bear in mind, I'm going to pan back out here. Bear in mind, cars were considered luxury items back around that time. So it's certainly not surprising to see that, you know, the level of luxury, at least considering those standards, that these cars had. And here we have a 1908 Renault Type X1 Coupe de Ville. Whew. Oh, breathtaking. Next is a 1914 Panhard Levasseur Type X26. I'm trying hard not to butcher the names, folks. Next is a 1906 La Croix de la Ville La Nef. Oh my goodness gracious. Can anyone say Seal City? Pimping this in Seal City and maximizing the Riz game, which is what you'll no doubt do driving this thing around. Check out this 1898 Cudel tricycle. Absolutely breathtaking. Next, we have an 1896 Lion Bolet Voiturette. We are on the last row now, and this car here is a 1906 de Dion Bouton Populaire, and you can just see the extravagance in this car. Next is a 1909 Renault AX. beautiful, breathtaking, even for today's standards. I don't care what anyone says. And then a 1906 Peugeot, Lyon Peugeot VA. 1906 Lyon Peugeot VA. Such an elegant looking automobile. Get back to the States. 1906 Oldsmobile Model 6 curved dash. I just cannot believe the level of cars they have in this museum. 1901 the Dion Bouton Type G vis-a-vis. Get to practice my French accent. And then break of the 20th century, 1900 Jean Piat 1C Voiturette. Well, this is a cute little ride here. Look at this with the little kind of cover up top. Keep it kind of partially out of the rain there. Beautiful. Hey YouTube, so congratulations to me, folks. I have successfully covered every single car on this level, including those cars in the background that are elevated too. So quite a bit of work done here, but we still have to get the upper level. So we're going to get that next. Let's go.